So we're going to make a pattern from the sleeve. I've started by folding it in half because it's symmetrical, and we're going to trace off one half, mark it up, cut it out and flip it over and then continue. That's the speediest way to do anything that is symmetrical. So I'm going to start by drawing a midway point line here, and that becomes the centre. Arrows at each end so that when it's laid on the fabric, you know that it's lying along the grain line. Okay, so trace around the curve, and I'm using a pen because pencil's a bit fine, you can't really see it very well, but when you're doing your patterns you should use a pencil. I have an eraser to hand as well, just in case you make any mistakes. Okay, I'm going to draw a line here. So we go straight across. Okay, now the hem allowance is actually here. It's been folded back, I didn't lay it flat. I'm going to measure that now and then we'll add that on. And that is 2.5 centimetres. So I'll lay the pattern master on the outline and take it up to 2.5 along the hem line that I've drawn, and then we just go across there in this area here, straighten it by following the line here. Okay, so now with the rest of this we can do this by hand. It's a bit more complicated. You can use the curved area on the pattern master, which will help you with doing curves and so forth. This is such a simple shape, we can just do it by hand. Okay, so the seam allowance needs to be included, so I'm going to add that on. It's 1 centimetre from the edge. Do it just like this. These pattern masters and set squares are so handy for adding seam allowances. It makes the job much easier than measuring 1 centimetre in and then drawing it in by hand. We've got the curve here, we can apply that to this area here. In short bursts really, not one continuous curve. To hug that to match the edge of the sleeve. And now when we get to this shape here, we then twist this the other way around. Do it this way. Like that. Okay, so we need to write some information on it. Sleeve, cut 1 pair. What I wanted to explain actually is that when you have a garment with 2 sleeves, you only need 1 pattern. You would have your fabric folded on the double, lay the pattern on, cut it out, and then you've got 2 pieces. You would never make 2 pattern pieces if the item is exactly the same. Just something to bear in mind. Okay, so now we can cut this out with the aid of my lovely surgical knife. I guess I should have been a doctor instead of a pattern cutter, but this is what I ended up doing, and I'm happy for the choice. Okay, and we fold pattern in half, and cut it out. And once we've cut the pattern out, we just have to use a notcher to put the notches in the pattern piece. Open that up. I'm going to use a knife to cut this. So it's a bit easier. So, and there we have our pattern. So now to do the notches, fold it back, use the notcher, lay it flat here, and punch there, here. Just remove that. Because the paper's so thin it won't always cut through. Pattern card is much harder. But when you're making initial patterns, I'd always suggest using pattern paper as opposed to card, in case you make mistakes and have to change things. Once the pattern's perfect, then you can transfer it to card. And ta-da! There you have your sleeve pattern. Thanks for watching.